Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the Solution Podcast, as you already know. And yeah, so today I was just thinking about some topics, and uh I was thinking about, you know, conspiracies and how true are they or what have you. And one thing I wanted to discuss was this thing with the black community and these charlatans that are running around and why they're doing it. Now, I'm sure most of y'all heard of Umar Johnson and Brother Polite and Sinetta and all these dudes from the conscious community. And it's come like I sit back and I analyze why are they coming out of the woodworks with the nonsense, and they clearly are scammers, right? And then it's like, who's benefiting from the nonsense that they're doing? You know, because I ain't gonna front. I follow Brother Polite first. I think I caught him first, probably around 06, 07. And then I just happened to find Umar around the same time. It was him, Seti. It was a couple other brothers, in the conscious community, because that was like right up my alley. That's what I was into. That's what I was looking for. That kind of, dudes. Back then, it was, before then, everything was on DVD, so you had to buy the DVDs of these lectures or what have you. And you would think, by the way they were talking, they was on the same page of like Amos Wilson and Francis Cress Wilson and all like the elders. And then, as so I followed these brothers, and then when you realize that they just talking, right? Now you expect it more, because, all right, so in the beginning, Umar and Polite, they like me. See, I'm just sitting here, I'm talking, I got, real small following, right? Then let's say I got thousands of followers. Like, let's say a couple years and I get thousands of followers. People believing in me so much, they giving me money, throwing me money and all this shit. Now, if I'm not building nothing, like when you look at, when I go live, right, and you see the numbers, it's like 5,000, 6,000, and I'm still on this mic talking, then that must mean they got me or something. Because what are we talking about? I got 5,000 people listening. Now it's time to mobilize. Now, Polite, he been in the game for a minute, and he out there with the money team. He dibbling and dabbling with celebrities. So it's like, what you doing? So then he get caught in a scam recently, and I can't understand why people still listen to this dude. He's clearly a scammer. And then Umar is a scammer. Like, he don't have his credentials. And the school, oh man, we could just count that. He ain't building no school. And I would be even like, if the school did pop up, if he did like get a school, I would be skeptical about it at that point. Cause it's all like the feds obviously are funding it. Like, this guy is he a real big scammer. Now I'm saying every brother ain't a brother because of color. You understand? So we got to be careful about who we selecting as our leaders. I would imagine this thing goes way back to the COINTELPRO. Like, real leaders, first, like my man Cam was saying, real leaders use their real name, first of all. So that's one way you could tell who's fake and who's not. Like, if you Brother Supreme from that, listen, he frauding. That's one way. That's one way you could tell. all like real freedom fighters, the name that they sign on their personal documents is the name they use when they give lectures and stuff. That's one way you could tell. Now, we sit here thinking, well, at least I was thinking Umar Johnson was his real name. Come to find out, his real name is Jermaine Shoemaker. Now, like, what sense does that make? So it's like, yo, going way back in the day, it's like brothers, you know, brothers have always been used against the movement. And we don't, I don't know, maybe because we admire people that step out and you know, I guess we admire them for stepping out in the first place, because most of us don't want to get involved or don't want to let it be known. Like we don't want our true feelings known. So we like to just talk behind the scenes or what have you. And some brothers, like, you know, stick their neck out and get out there and say what needs to be said. And I think we do, as a people, we admire that. But everybody that stick their neck out and get on this mic and they talk don't have the best interests of the people. You know, sometimes it's a money grab. And we gotta be smart enough and wise enough to know the difference. See, because look, I fell for Polite and Umar and the rest and Sanetta and them because I'm into, you know, blackness and black nationalism and all of that. So when they're talking it already piques my interest. So yeah, and then, you know, they got some, you know, they dropping some knowledge or whatever, and I'm like, okay, and you think they for the cause. So this is, you know, 10, 11, 12 years ago. They still talking. So these brothers, you got to just ease them to the side because they not about it. They not about that life. And they've proved it. So what we had to do is we had to start looking for real leadership, especially if, like, let's be honest, we don't want to take the responsibility to ourselves to really think, because, you know, most people got bills to pay, right? People got children to look after. Some of us got parents to look after, you know. So, you know, and then you gotta work a gig 40 hours a week, more or less. Then you gotta, you know, with all the remembering your passwords and all that for your work, and remembering your passwords for your leisure time and your shopping and all that, it's a lot. You don't really have time to think and wonder about certain things, certain conspiracies. You don't really have the time. So when a brother pop up on the internet or on TV or on the radio and he seems like he got it all figured out, you're more inclined to be like, okay, that's a brother. Oh, I'm going to hear more of this guy. And then you see more and more people gathering around them and supporting them. Then you think you're onto something, but you can't really listen with the third eye. You know what I mean? You can't really go all the way in on them. But that's my specialty, because that's what I do. And I could spot these moles a mile away. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to give you some indicators. Like I said, one indicator is if the brother not using his government name, like the name he uses in his personal life, the name that's on the checks that he writes for his bills or whatever, the name that's on his credit cards or his birth certificate, maybe not his birth certificate because he might legally change his name. That's what I'm saying, his legal name. What's your name? Like Malcolm X, he changed his name to Malcolm X. His name was Malcolm Little, but he dropped the little and he's Malcolm X. Malcolm Shabazz later on after that. But I would imagine Malik Shabazz is what he wrote on his checks when he paid his bills or whatever. Or Malik Shabazz or Malcolm X might be on his passport. So if you Brother Supreme or you Brother Knowledge Dropper, then you know what? chances are you fraud. You're a character. You know what I mean? You like a you like a MC or whatever. You know what I mean? You know, rappers got their stage name, but then they got their regular name. Yeah, you just a performer. So yeah, that's one of the conspiracies. You know, another conspiracy we gotta look out for is finance. We I got just caught this documentary about this years ago. I caught something. I was into this thing called accepted for value, right? And what that was they were saying how you could pay your bills with your birth certificate and all that. So I was into that shit. Like I was into that shit deep. So there is some secret nonsense with your social security card and your birth certificate. And supposedly you when you're born, you have $1 million attached to your name. That the government uses your birth certificate to trade on the stock market. And so everybody with a birth certificate is worth $1 million. Supposedly, this is what the whole accepted for value shit meant. And unbeknownst to us, is we had access to this money, and because the government seized all the real money in the stock market crash of the 1930s and gave out these fiat dollars, we now have access to the money on our birth certificates to pay back our debts. So you can't really access, it's not worth like cash, but you could pay it to pay off your debt. You could use it to pay off your debts, right? So this was the stuff I was researching. Okay. And while I'm researching this, it's a lady, I forgot her name, it escapes me at the moment, but she was a black lady. She's saying how you can't, you as an American citizen, you're not supposed to pay income tax. There's no law saying you have to pay income tax. You don't have to pay income tax on your labor. So let's say, you work, I don't know, making chairs or whatever, right? Somebody pays you $15 to make them a chair. You make the chair, you get the $15. It's an even exchange. He can't give, when you give that person a chair, he can't give the government a piece of the chair as tax. So why should you have to give the government a piece of your income? It's an even exchange. It costs $15. That's what I'm charging. The government is taxed every dime you make. The government wants a piece, even though the money comes from your labor. And that is one of the conspiracies that as we come together, as black people start to galvanize, we should look into the tax codes a little deeper, because I think they use the IRS and the Federal Reserve Bank and the whole tax thing to hold black people back. A lot of black people that I speak to, I don't know if they get it, you know what I mean? But I said this before, like we get nickeled and dimed more so than anybody else, any other race. And I would say, just, from the research I've done, it appears to me that the social security number means something. So I would say if you put your social security number in, like let's say you apply for a loan, for a mortgage or something, you put your social security number in, and then maybe the zip code or something, or your date of birth or something. These numbers all add up and come up with a whole number, and that whole number is supposed to mean something. Now, all this is speculation, I'm just saying, but it seems to me that they know who you are by these numbers, and they know how to nickel and dime you at that point. They know what type of mortgage to put you in. Like, what was those mortgages? They were back before the housing crash. They had a specific name. But a lot of black people were getting those mortgages with the balloon payment in them. So you 5 years, you maintain it, a little $500-$600 a month, and then year 5 or 6, they hit you with that balloon payment. Now your mortgage is $3,000 a month, and chances are you can't afford that. Not for the house you just bought, and then they not really going to restructure the loan, so it's set up for you to fail. So then you will foreclose on the crib, you can't pay it. Boom, they get the house and they got the money that you paid, and you out in the street. So it's like a whole big scam that we need to look out for. And I find it funny that every American citizen doesn't look into the tax and the banking system, because that's how they keep us broke. That's how they keep us working 40 hours a week. And 52 weeks in a year, you get 2 weeks of vacation. Like, that's not cool. That's not what's up. We should all be up in arms about this. So then there's another thing where they say, first, you don't have to pay income tax. And then when you do pay income tax, you're not only paying your income tax, but you're paying the company that you work for as income tax. The company just write a bunch of numbers. So you look at your check, my back, I got $1,200. I'm straight for another 2 weeks. But look at all the deductions. And if you have a white friend, like a real close white male buddy, if y'all work on the same gig, ask him if you can see his check and look at his deductions. Because I'm curious to know if they the same. I would imagine it's a little off. You pay a black tax. It's like, these things are happening because we're not paying attention, right? Yeah, we're not paying attention to what's going on. And then at the end of the day, the black race is at the bottom of the barrel. We could all go around pointing the finger, right? But the fact of the matter is, we just not paying attention to the movements that we're making. So we all have to start doing our due diligence when it comes to financing and following leaders. And just because people on TV, that don't make them righteous. That don't make them somebody you should follow. And just because a brother doesn't have a real solid following, don't mean you shouldn't follow him. You just gotta do your due diligence. Now, if you ask me, I think everybody should hitch their wagon to my engine. Like, for real. that ain't no job, because I sit back for years, I studied the black condition. Like I wish I could explain to y'all. It's so deep. We are here because we are like, all right. So I posted this thing on my Facebook page. This white dude said, the Irish built America, not the blacks, and it wasn't built by the slave trade. And I said, dang, everybody played a part in building America. Like the Chinese people built the railroads, and I guess the Irish people built the bridges and the tunnels, and the Italians built this and that, and so everybody had a part to play in building America. But I would say the black man, the Negro, he financed it with his labor. So we were able to send cotton and all these spices and everything we did on the farm, we did all that for free, which made America rich. And then America could finance building the railroad and building skyscrapers and finance all the stuff that America was allowed to do. And that's all the black man is to America. We give up our labor, right? And they profit off it and they build more shit. So, for example, the whole, like in the crack era, the drug conspiracy, they funnel drugs through our community, right? Now, think about, let's say, because I don't want to call no real names, so let's just say Nino Brown, right? Because we all saw New Jack City. So when he's arrested, right, and they seize all his money and all his assets, the money and assets, where do they go at the end of the day? What happens to the money that was seized in his safe, or the money that was seized in his bank account, or what have you? All the businesses, all the fronts that he owned, the businesses. What happens to all of that? Does it go back into the community from whence it came? Because if the United States of America was righteous and they say, well, damn, this man was selling our drugs and it ravaged the community. Well, shit, this man was sitting on $25-30 million. We could kick that right back into the community and then give low interest loans to people who want to start real businesses. Nah, but they don't do that. So question, where does the money go? At the end of the day, who profited off the crack era? Meanwhile, the banking industry came up, the car industry came up. Of course, Nike and Puma and Reebok and Bally and Gucci and all these other high-end clothing lines, they blew up. And what happened to us? And then look at the wreckage of the black community. Some of the effects are still felt, like 30 years from the crack era. Some of the effects are still felt today. So who profited from all the drug dealing and killing that was going on in the 80s and 90s? You see? They use us. They monetize off us, just like in the slave trade. You do a job, boom. You don't get nothing for it though. So, and some of us, even back in slavery, were able to, I guess, dress up. Some of us had good jobs. Like if this was slavery time, some of us would be in the big house polishing the silver, or, cleaning the linens, and, reading, well, not reading, but tending to the children. So some of us have real easy, laid back gigs. And then others would be in the field breaking their back. But at the end of the day, all of the work that was put in by the slaves benefited the masters. Now, think about all the work we're doing today. Who benefits? Like I was on, again, Ruby Red, I stay on her post sometimes, she actually tagged me in hers. So, brother was trying to tell me that black women is winning and they getting all these degrees and all that. But yeah. But we getting the degrees. Well, they're getting the degrees, but they did last in job creation. We ain't creating no jobs. We ain't creating an industry. So for all the degrees that women are getting, who's benefiting? Even if you go to a black university, right? Chances are you gotta apply for a loan. Who's giving you the loan that you gotta pay back? And then who you gonna go work for? So everything we do, it only benefits the masters. You see? So if you rob somebody and you hit a score or whatever, chances are you're gonna go buy some nonsense, right? Then you'll get caught, and then they profit off of you going to jail. So no matter how you look at it, even if it's like a high crime area, they benefit off of that. So they'll complain, they go to like Philadelphia will go to the state and say, yo, we need more cops. Then they get more funding. So yeah, it's a benefit for Philadelphia to have a certain amount of crime because they allot that in the budget. So it's a certain amount of crime that's allowed to go on, but they keep it contained in the black community. Sorry about that. Yeah, they keep it contained within the black community instead of letting it expand. So black people we're getting squeezed by all the sides. Okay. Now we got our focus on we're focusing on our work at the task at hand, whatever we're doing. Some of us are in school, some of us are raising kids, some of us are, working 2 and 3 jobs or whatever. Some of us we got goals and they just focus on the goal. So we won't have time to look up and actually see what's going on. What's really going on. And you just a cog in the American engine. But unlike everybody else in America, you don't get anything for your efforts. Some blacks get to make a living. And then there's certain blacks that are handpicked as an example of success. Like, you look at Jay-Z and Beyonce. Beyonce ain't the best singer in the world. Jay-Z was one of the best, but he really dumbed his lyrics down. But here they are on the pedestal, along with Oprah and Obamas and all these people we can sit back and say, yeah, look, they doing it. But they not really connected to us because their footprint is not in the black community. Like, look, you got Farrakhan, Michael Jordan, Oprah Winfrey, countless Bears and Bulls and the Obamas, all coming out of Chicago. Like Kanye West, Common, all coming out of Chicago, right? And what's going on in Chicago with the murdering and the killing? Like, that is crazy. When Barack Obama became president, that should have been first on his agenda. And his comment was, yo, I'm not the president of Black America. I'm not president of all America. All right, well, so what? Here's a part of America that's doing bad. Go down there, make your presence felt. Yo, make them people feel you, like, because it's not what's up. But the conclusion I come to is it's not there to do. They don't care. That's not their job. See, they were selected to play the part. They're not allowed to get involved in black issues. You understand? Just like sometimes when you go into the Foot Locker, right? Just to give you an analogy, the sneakers that's on the wall are just to show what's for sale, but they not necessarily for sale. Who wants to buy them anyway? They just for show. So they're showing you that, hey, they're not showing us. They're showing the rest of the world. Hey, look what we did. These people were slaves once upon a time. Now look at them. So that's just a signal to the people in South America and Mexico and Africa. Damn, we can go to America and come up. And then, yeah, because look, the Negro was a slave And now he is on TV throwing money around. Look how he dresses. He's sharp. He throwing money in the air. They making it rain on prostitutes and strippers. Yeah, I got to give my ass to America. See, but then when these people come over here, ain't nothing for them to do unless they want to grind from the bottom and work their way up. And most of the immigrants can do it. For some reason, black people can't. Black people can work your way up within somebody else's corporation, but we're not working our way up as a race. Our dynamic with America is still the same. We a cog in the engine, and every once in a while we get a little gas to keep it running. But ain't no benefit. Like, black people haven't benefited for real. I mean, damn, we still get killed by the police. That's still going on. And then why is it okay? So you get beat up by the cops, you get shot by the cops. Black people still go to jail more than any other race. We own businesses, but not really. Like, we're not in charge of a whole industry or nothing like that. We just sing, we dance, we tell jokes, and we're just a cog in the machine. Now, this is something that y'all may not have thought about, but you should think about now. And now, do you want your children to continue this legacy we set, or do we want to put them on a different path? Because, see, I was told tonight that, I'm wasting my time doing a podcast because y'all adults and y'all stuck in your ways and y'all not going to join the fight anyway. I'm wasting my time, so I should be talking to the children. But that's something I might consider, because some of my friends do have access to children, and maybe I could just volunteer, at a school or something and drop the load on them too. But I still want to talk to the adults because, y'all have access to your kids. You know what I'm saying? So this ain't something that's is just for the next generation, because I need help conveying this to the next generation from y'all, even if you don't believe it. Even if you be like, nah, hard work pays. You might want to consider just letting your kids know working ain't the last stop. Okay? They got to own something. And then once they own something, they got to give maximum effort to their customers. Okay? And then that's how they build a brand and then hopefully build an industry. Then we can have Fortune 500 companies. For us, our entire livelihood really depends on corporations and whether they feel like hiring blacks or not. Because we ain't creating jobs for ourselves. So, yeah, man, it's like this thing, I think it was deeply thought about and carefully calculated. Like, we put the black man to work, then put him to sleep. And it's time to wake up. Like now, look, gentrification. That's another conspiracy. I was in Fishtown today. Now I'm gonna tell you something. I worked out Fishtown for like 2 months at this factory back in 1999. Okay. It was a slum. Then you just happen to see all the new condos and what they doing with the row houses and all of that. Meanwhile, on the west side, you see more and more blacks creeping out. Black people creeping over that, over the main line and, into the counties. What y'all doing that for? See, are y'all thinking about why you're moving out to the counties? Or do you put somebody put something in our head and then we just go with it like wind up dolls. Like somebody put the battery in your back and you just go. Why are you moving to the counties when the housing is cheaper in the city? You got more benefits in the city. So some smart dummy will say, well, the schools are better out there. Yeah, you could get involved in schools here and make these schools better. And like I said before in one of my earlier podcasts, I can't be about resources because the internet is everywhere. It's just a matter of parents being involved in their children's education. I don't care what school you send your kids to. Every parent got to be involved. I mean, y'all got to really put some thought into what you're doing. Now, you costing your family, your household money by moving out to the county. Because guess what? You're paying way more in real estate tax. That's all. And then you probably got another tax, like depending on what county. Some people paying the school tax. I understand. And for what? Because think about this. Think about all the dark nights you had in the 90s in West Philly and North Philly and all of that. Now think about the same condition, but now it's out in Gayton. Now it's out in Sharon Hill. Now it's out in Collindale, Montgomery County and all of that. Now how you gonna feel? And then everybody else is in the city partying because now the city is lit and you locked out. And you come back on the block and I'm like, damn, this is the house I grew up in. It's worth $1 million. I sold it for $30,000. See, these are the types of scams and games we caught up in. The funny thing is, our parents and our grandparents already went through it. So it's like, what y'all are not paying attention. You're just moving. But see, that's what I'm here for. Put you on, D you up. I'm paying attention. They're using us. Just like they always. The dynamic between blacks and America hasn't changed since slavery. It's the same game. The slaves, they was able to sing the Negro spirituals while they worked. That's hip hop. So you was allowed to have your little, your little cultural things on Sunday. The dynamic hasn't changed. It's not technically as barbaric as it was because the world has become a lot more civilized. But the dynamic is still the same. You still work for them and you get nothing in return. And I mean, nothing. We paying taxes and fees and dues and all this. And for what? The government won't even protect you from the police. Why are we paying taxes? They don't want to give you reparations for slavery, but they tax you like everybody else. What are we getting out of it? So these are things we really need to build on and take, black nationalism from just something we claim to something we really live in. Because if you don't care about you, who will? right? And then you think about, oh, I didn't even get into the medical aspect of it all. So like, that's a whole nother can of worms. So you think about your check, right? So you take out taxes, and then you got to take out your insurance, your medical insurance. Then what's left, right? You got to then take home and take care of your bills at home. And then your kids need stuff. So at the end of the day, at the end of every month, Black people will be lucky to have $500 in the bank. You'd be lucky. You're doing good. And even that probably takes concentration. At a certain point within a month, you should be done spending money. I got everything I need. I'm good. I don't need the rest of this check. I'm going to put it up. You should have had all your fun. All that's supposed to be budgeted and accounted for. And then, boom, most of your check goes into the bank. Like when I see Black people, how Black people dress and what they putting on, then I always scratch my head and wonder, could you put $10,000 together right now? Like, oh, I'm gonna, would you starting a business? Hold, I'll be right back. And go to Bank of America, whatever. Yo, I need $10,000. I'm gonna invest with my man real quick. And then it not hurt your pockets. I wonder how many Black people could do that. Very, very few. And then ask your white counterparts, your white friends at work, if they can go out and do that. Yo, I just want, not that I want to borrow any money, but could you? If I had something to invest in, it was major, like the new Facebook or something, could you put $10,000 together just to see what they say? I know a lot of brothers can't do that. Even brothers that done sold drugs and cheated. Put the 10 stacks together. Like, yo, when you watch this movie called Rounders with Matt Damon, I ain't gonna tell you the whole, because somebody, I ain't end up giving out spoilers, but say he get into a fix. He said, yo, I need some help. Boy, wrote him a check, 15 grand. Here you go. Yo, he said, yo, it has to be tonight. All right, if it has to be tonight, I can only give you a check. Wrote him $15,000. Piece of cake. That's because money ain't a thing. Money is everything to Blacks, and we ain't got it. Now, do the math on that. I mean, we have it to spend, but we don't have it on us. So we'll spend it over the course of a year. We probably spent thousands, like even us, like on the ground. Like I'm saying, we spend tens of thousands of dollars without even knowing it. Gotta keep them bills, gotta keep them lights on, gotta keep that water running. And just in case I crash my car, I gotta pay $200. And just in case I get sick, I gotta pay that couple $100. So nickel and dime. Boop, 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 boop. Now, here's a solution to that. Is if we come together as a community, right? And by the way, this is something I proposed to that charlatan Umar Johnson, by the way. We come together as a community, right? I had the actual numbers, but for the sake of saving time, I'ma just look, it's like 44 houses on this block, right? And all the houses are occupied. So you times the 44 homes times like from 53rd Street to 59th Street. So let's say 6 blocks, all 44 houses, boom. Then you go from Thomas Avenue to Chester Avenue. For people who don't know, that's not from Philly, don't know, this is only about 5 or 6 blocks east to west and 6 or 7 blocks north to south. So it's like a square, whatever, maybe an acre. I don't know. But basically, you take all the homes and you say, for each house, let me get $25 a month. Then that $25 a month adds up. At the end of the year, you buy a store, a supermarket. There's a supermarket on Chester Avenue, and there's a like a 7-Eleven store on 58th and 57th and Whippy. Say we buy that. Now each all the profit that comes from that kicks back into the community. So in this area, we putting up stores that every time we spend money, we make money because it belongs to us. Then once the shit is flowing, then you go to like Aetna or Blue Cross Blue Shield or something. Then you say, yo, we want to buy a package. So everybody in this community, just who live in this community, gets benefits. So we don't need it from the job. And I'm sure if we all sign up, it's going to be super low. Then we could go to State Farm or something, make the same type of deal, and we all get car insurance for on the low or something for the cheap. Now you can expand that from other neighborhoods and then the whole city, and then we keep putting our money together. Then we can have our own insurance companies. Then it might be like you paying like $50 a month, but you got medical insurance and you got car insurance and you got life insurance. And then that's a weight off your shoulders. $50 a month gets you all of that. And not no cheap insurance. Not no, because it belongs to the community. We fund it. It ain't no board of directors trying to rape the company from all the profits. It belongs to the community. And we employ our own people. So people have jobs. So, one hand washes the other. So that's the solution. But see, then it all comes back to we got to gain each other's trust again. So we got to go back to the basics. Okay. We got to love brothers and sisters like brothers and sisters love the white man and being multicultural. Yeah, we love the others more than we love the brothers. We're not necessarily included in this game that America's playing. We just serve. Like, all right, we are. It's like everybody's the Asians and the Latinas and the whites and everybody's at dinner. We there too, but we in a different capacity. We serving the meals. We in the back cooking it up. Cooking up their recipe, and then we serving it, and then we stand around while they cut up the meat. And hopefully when they get up and they finish eating, hopefully something there for us. That's how we need to look at, that's how y'all should look at everything that I'm saying. Like, this is what's going on, and we need to fix it. If you ain't trying to fix it, then what you doing? Because look, the way I'm looking at it is, let's say you don't want to get involved. You don't care that much. Well, good. Here, just give me $20 a month. I'll fix it. Just and not me personally. I'm saying the organization that I'm trying to get established. And then I'll fix it with the plan I just laid out. Like I said, the Chinese store, right? The Chinese store with the bulletproof glass that everybody's offended about now. and like the dirt. You know what I mean? We complain about the Chinese store, but it still be niggas is in there ordering food. So look, it's just, all right, we tell them, we'll buy them out. Because either way, it's going to end bad. Like, look, let us buy you out, or nobody's going to fund the joint. And you just going to be here with the lights on, wasting your money because nobody's going to go in there and support it. And we got to take the community back. Rick Ross said we got to buy back the hood. So, yeah, that's the plan. So that's the movement I'm starting. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get maximum effort, well, maximum results for a least amount of effort. Okay? We don't have to be out here protesting and waving, flags and carrying signs and all that and singing "We Shall Overcome." Because nobody's on our side. Nobody's gonna do this but us. Now here's the thing. We can't let nobody stop us though. Now, if nobody want to help, that's fine. But we can't let nobody stop us. So, and again, you thinking about being black first is not you being racist. It's you taking care of you and your family first. Because let's look at it like this. All right. Because we don't know what life is about. We can't begin to think like gods or whatever. So let's just say, for the sake of this argument, that you come back after you die as your grandkids or your great grandkids. Now you have to live in the mess that you created. You see? So how about you create something dope? So just in case, okay, you come back in the after, when you come back after you die, you have something set up for yourself that you don't have to struggle and strive, and you don't have to try to cut corners to get ahead. You can do it the straight and narrow way, and type of level I'm thinking on. But yeah, I guess I talked your ears off long enough, and I'm gonna get ready for tomorrow because I gotta go to the plantation too. See, and I just hope that everybody just think about the next step and what we could do as a community, and not be a burden to America. Like some of these Trump supporters think we a burden to America, and even see we are financing America's ventures with our labor. Again, we giving it away for free. Like I said in a previous podcast, like a Jay-Z or somebody, of course he's a multi-millionaire, whatever, but then you gotta think about how much money he actually generates, and then look at how much he actually takes home. Anybody of black skin, how much money are they generating, and how much money do they put in their pocket? See, that's how we gotta look at it. So with that, I'm gonna say good night and God bless, and join me next week. I have some guests next week, and hopefully, it'll be interesting enough that y'all stick around. All right, good night.